floor.
Thank you very much. Hello, good evening, everyone. And today our session will be around chapters 6 and 7, and we will talk about the company account and the tools menu in details. So we will start with the company account part of our course. And the objectives for this part of the session are define the company structure, create a company account, create domains for security, create table collections, create a virtual company to enable table data sharing across companies, set up company information, enter company information, export data from Microsoft Dynamics AX, and import data into Microsoft Dynamics AX. A single Microsoft Dynamics AX database can hold many individual companies. This section explains the steps of setting up a company in Microsoft Dynamics AX. Company setup in Microsoft Dynamics AX is unique because a company can be real or virtual, and users can assign company's domains that are used for security. After the main company is set up, the next step is to enter the setup data that is required to complete the company information form. This form holds all the data specific to and defaults for the Microsoft Dynamics AX company. The final step is to perform data exports and imports, where the chart of accounts is exported from the Dynamics AX company to another. So we will go through the following scenario in this part of the course. Microsoft Dynamics AX implementer has to create all the components that are required to create companies in the system. The implementer starts with creating the company that includes the following components: company accounts, domains, virtual company, table collections. After the main company is set up, the implementer sets up the company information that is used to enter data into the company information form. The setup data includes address formats, address information, and number sequences. As soon as the data setup is complete, the implementer fills in a company information form. Now that the company is set up, the implementer uses the export-import functionality to bring a chart of accounts into a new company. So now we will go through this scenario, and we'll have a look how all these steps we can perform in Microsoft Dynamics AX. Company structure in Microsoft Dynamics AX. The Microsoft Dynamics AX database can hold information for several companies. Each company and application uses the same application logic but has its own set of data for one or more tables. Data stored in one company cannot be directly accessed from another company. This means that if a table's data belongs to company A, its data will only be available to application objects within this company, unless virtual companies are used. Let's have a look what the virtual company accounts are. Virtual company accounts contain data in certain tables that are shared by any number of company accounts. Therefore, users can post information in one company that will be available to another company. Using virtual company account helps when a customer has multiple companies that can be shared non-transactional information such as vendor accounts, customer accounts, the postal codes, tax code, and so on. Sharing information saves database administrators from having to set up the same records in each company. So let's have a look at our slides. Assume that an accountant has to work with 5 different companies that are named A, B, C, D, and E. Company A and B will share a chart of accounts as well as C and D. All 5 companies will share information about customers, and this is achieved by creating 5 companies and 3 virtual companies. So you can see this on the figure. The combination of companies and virtual companies enables the accountant to reuse the same application logic, the same application relations as the accountant works with different sets of data where it is required. End users do not deal directly with virtual companies. Virtual company accounts and table collections. So virtual company accounts use table collections to achieve the sharing of information between companies. Table collections are groups of tables that relate tables from one company to another. More information what the table collection is, we will cover in the next steps. So, company accounts. Company accounts are created in the company form. The company form displays a list of all company accounts that have been created in Microsoft Dynamics AX. And company account form we can find in our Dynamics AX. In the administration module, and the company account form, if I will open it, you will see the list of all company accounts I have currently in my system. To create a new company account, we have to press Ctrl N or press the Create New button. So let's create a new company account that we will name Test. So in the company account field, we have to enter the ID for the company account. Currently, we can use only 3 letters for the company account ID. And we will name our company account as Test. So it will be TST. And the name of company account will be Test Company Account. On the Domains tab, we can assign domains to these company accounts. So we have admin domain that is currently assigned. In the remaining domain, if you have the more domains than one, you can move the domains back into the selected domains and into the remaining domains by using the arrows. To assign existing virtual company accounts to this company account, we have to click the Virtual Company Accounts button, tab, and select the virtual company account that this company will be part of. Also, the company form contains the following 4 buttons, and they are tables, which is print a list of tables linked to the company account. Duplicate, create a copy of the selected company account. So if I will highlight the any company account and click duplicate button, it will create an exact copy of current company account. So we will need to assign only the ID and company name. Restore button restores company account data from a backup database, and opens the selected company account. On the page 149 in your manuals, you can find exercises that I would like to ask you to do before the next session next week. So you will repeat our today's session part. So while I will move back to my slides, and we will talk about the domains. Another component of the company structure is domains. A domain is a collection of one or more company accounts, not virtual company accounts, and is used to define user groups and permissions. With domains, a company can define user groups that have the same permissions in several company accounts, while at the same time enabling the same user groups to have other permissions within other company accounts. A set of company accounts can belong to several domains. Users can define user groups and permissions by establishing a domain. Domains make it easier to maintain user group security if several companies use the same security profile. A single company can belong to more than one domain. In addition to user groups, domains are used when a log is set up of the following database actions: insert, update, and delete. Database log actions are set in the administration and setup. So let's try and create the new domain in Microsoft Dynamics AX. We'll go back to my Dynamics. I will close my company accounts, and again in the administration module, setup folder, domains form. This is our domains form where we can create a new domain. So create new, again, click Ctrl-N or new button. And we will select our test domain. That will be test domain and name. And on the company accounts tab, we can assign existing company accounts to this domain. So on the company accounts, I can assign my test domain, test company accounts that I just created, and we will select the demo company accounts as well. So to remove company accounts from the selected company accounts list, click the company, and then we can click the right arrow to move back to the remaining company accounts list. So at the page 152 in your manuals, you can find the exercise that will be related to the domains and company accounts. So now I will move to my presentation. So now we will try to create table collection for virtual companies. Table collections are groups of tables that relate tables from one company to another. Table collections can be created through drag and drop functionality in the application object tree. The application object tree form is accessed from any of following methods. So press Ctrl D on the toolbar, click the application object tree icon, and on the file menu, click Open Application Object Tree. So we will move back to Dynamics AX, close my domains, and open the application object tree. So you can press the application object tree button, press Ctrl D, or in the file menu, click Open and Application Object Tree. So the application object tree form is the main location for making customizations and modifications to Microsoft Dynamics AX. So basically, application object tree is the development environment, let's say, for the Dynamics AX. So you can find all the developers' tools, tables, and forms in the application object tree. So let's create the table collection for our virtual company accounts. So we have to follow the following steps. We open the application object tree and expand the data dictionary. Find the table collection and right-click on the table collections and click New Table Collection. So as you can see, new table collection was created, and it automatically has the user layer indicator added to the name to indicate that this table collection resides in the user layer of Microsoft Dynamics AX. If you remember from our first session, we were talking about the layers, and user layer is the highest layer from all layers, development layers in Microsoft Dynamics AX. So now we can click on our table collection and assign a new table. no, sorry, a new name, which will be test table collection. To add tables to this collection, we have to open another instance of the application object tree, and we will open a new one and move it to the right side so it will be easier to manipulate. So in the data dictionary we can find the tables node and expand the tables node and find tables that we would like to add to our table collection. Also, these tables, when we add them in the table collection, the company accounts will share these tables between each other, selected company accounts. So let's say I would like to share customer information and then vendor information between two company accounts. So let's find the customer table. So find the customer table and just drag and drop it in my new test table collection. And also I will find the vendor table and drag and drop it as well. So when we drag and drop it, this will make sure that any tables that must not be shared across companies are not shared. So you can see that only customer tables and vendor table will be shared between selected company accounts. So as you can see, we have a red line next to the test table collection. That means that the records are not saved. So what I have to do, I'll just click Save All button, and you can see my red line disappeared. So now the new table collection is now ready for use in virtual company accounts. If you would like to repeat these steps, you can find the exercise on page 155, where you can perform the same exercise. And we will move to my slides, and we talk about the virtual company accounts. A virtual company account is a collection of data that is common to several company accounts. It is very difficult to keep track of accounting if transactional tables were shared between companies participating in a virtual company. Because each company participating will see the transaction, it will not be easy to see which company posted the transaction. This feature is truly designed for master tables where data is not company specific. So it's better to share the information like items, customer information, vendor information, zip codes, and so on, but not the transactional data. It is recommended to set up virtual companies at the start of the Microsoft Dynamics AX implementation to avoid problems with combining records into a shared table. So let's try and create the virtual company account in our Dynamics AX. I will close my table collections. And a virtual company account form we can find in the administration, setup, and virtual company accounts. Open the form. We don't have currently anything. So the create new record in the virtual company account is very similar to any other creation of new records. So we can press Ctrl-N or create new button. And in the company account field, we can enter the name of the virtual company account. It has to be 3 letters as well as ID. So let's say it's virtual company account. We'll call it VCA, and it's a test virtual company account name. So as soon as virtual company is added, and saved. So I'll save it. You can see the two tabs, company accounts and table collections tabs appeared. So we can click the company account tab and select or assign company account to this virtual company. So let's say my demo company and test company will share the tables. And on the table collection tab, we can select what table collection will be shared between these two company accounts. And I will select my test table collection, which includes customers and vendors information will be shared between my demo and test company accounts. So when we try to close the company account form, a message appears that states that the application must shut down and be restarted. So I will click OK, and I will need to restart my Dynamics AX. So now we have the virtual company account set up and companies are sharing data. So if you want to repeat and try this exercise, you can find the exercises on page 158 in your manuals. Data setup. After the company account has been created, the company information form is completed. However, before completing this form, some basic tables must be set up so the company information form can be accessed and can access the information. This section covers the setup of the basic tables that include address formats, manually and using a wizard, countries, regions, states, counties, zip postal codes, and number sequences. Address formats, countries, regions, states, counties, and zip postal codes can also be imported with default data at the start of the implementation or at any time thereafter. The default data import is covered in the Microsoft Dynamics AX administration course as well, so if you want to know more in details, you can look at this course. So let's set up the address formats. Move back to my Dynamics AX. The address format is used to define how address information is displayed on printed materials. Microsoft Dynamics AX accepts address formats for each country in which business is finished. The default is United States format, and you can find the address format in the basic module and in the setup, addresses, and the address format form. So let's set up address formats manually. To set up, as again, it's very similar. We just click Ctrl-N, and as you can see from the list, we don't have Italy. Let's create the Italy. We enter the address format ID, and the description is Italy. So on the General tab, we can see exactly the same information that we just entered, and on the Setup tab, we can define the address format. Setup tab is where the order of the address format is indicated. Each line in the tab must be added in the order in which an address will be formatted for the country specific on the Overview tab. So Again, to create a new line, we have to click Ctrl M and click the address application object arrow and select the last address component to appear in the address. For example, country region is typically the last line in the address, so we will select country region. So by default, lines are inserted above the existing line. Therefore, it is recommended to enter the last line first to prevent the need for moving the lines later. Next is separator field, and it can be used to establish the separator between the current field and the next field. For example, use a space, comma, or hyphen as the separator between fields. So let's say that we will use comma between the fields. Select the new line checkbox to insert a line break between the current address line and the next. So if you want every line to start from the new line, we just check the new line checkbox. So select not active checkbox if the address format line is not active. So if you don't want to see this line in your address format, you just click the not active checkbox. Select the expand checkbox to specify whether the application object must be expanded from a code. And select the special checkbox to specify whether the line contains the same characters as the previous separator. So also the Setup tab includes buttons to move selected lines up and down the order of the address format. To move the line up, click the up and down button, and let's create one more line. And next will be probably city, and I will put the separator comma again and new line. And if I will save the records, you can see on the right window the address format appeared, how it will appear for this specific country, which is Italy now. So also we can use the wizard to create address formats for some standard countries. So we can click wizard button, so that I'll go to the overview, and we can click wizard button and click next button. In the continent screen, you can select the continents the company works with and then click next. So let's say I use Australia. And in the country region screen, select the countries regions that company will be doing business with and then click next. In the native country region screen, select the country region if the country name does not have to appear in the address format. For example, to prevent the Canadian country code of CA from appearing in the address format, select the Canada checkbox, or for Australia, if you don't want Australia AU to appear, just select this Australia checkbox. So I'll click next, and when it's ready, click finish button and new address format for Australia. Australia will be created with the Australian type of the address format. So when the create address format wizard is used, the countries used in the create the address format are automatically added in the country region form. So let's try and create the countries and regions in Dynamic IX. Country region codes are used in address fields throughout the program for international deliveries, invoicing and money transfer, interest-rate reporting, and European Union sales list. So to set up countries or regions in Microsoft Dynamics AX, you can in the basic module set up folder, address, and country region form. Again, to create a new country region, you can press Control N, and let's create Italy. Probably don't have it. And select Italy. Description. And in the country region type field, we can select the relevant European Union classification. It could be domestic, European Union, EFTA, third country region. This is special special domestic used for intrastate reporting in San Marino. So let's select the EU. So if the country region type is changed, the change will only affect future updates of purchase and sales orders. In the address format, we can select the address format for this country region. So if you remember, we created for the Italy, so we can select it. In the ISO field, type the code for the country region. So I'll just type IT. That is used by the International Organization for Standardization, and this code is used for the intrastate reports in the European Union. Select the check tax exempt number to run a validation of the tax exempt number for this country region. On the General tab, fields on this tab includes same or all the fields from overview. The General tab includes the same fields as Overview tab and some additional important fields such as sales tax. So you can type the country region code that is used in the European Union sales list as part of tax exempt number. Intrastate code used for intrastate reporting in Austria, Germany, France, Spain, and Sweden. Giro validation. We can select the method that is used to validate bank Giro account numbers. Validate bank accounts. Select the method that is used to validate bank account number in the bank account form. So this field is not required for all countries. And in the currency, select the national currency of the country region. So let's say it's euro. Also, country region form contains 3 buttons. States, or it could be counties. In my version, it's counties because I have English version. If you have American version of Dynamics AX, it will be states. So it opens the counties form used to create or update states related to the selected county region. External codes opens the external code form used to create or update external codes related to the selected country region. External codes are used with Commerce Gateway documents, so it's used for the documents exchange between systems. Transport opens the transport form used to set up transport days relative to mode of delivery and shipping and receiving destinations related to the selected country regions. So let's now set up counties. So if I will select my Italy and then click counties button in this form, we can set up counties. Counties are used in addresses and county-related functionality. The county form is used to create and view counties within the country or region. And counties are unique to each country and region. So again, to create new, you just need to press Ctrl N or create new button. The country will be populated by default. You need to enter the county name. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, I don't know counties in Italy, so I will just type avoid any. Sorry for that. And in the description field, we can type official state name, and in the Interstat code field, we can type the Interstat reporting code, and this is only valid in Austria and Germany. And again, the counties form contains 3 buttons. It is counties. Again, it opens the county form, and external codes and transport. So I will close forms. So also we can set up zip and postcodes. As soon as zip postal codes have been set up in Microsoft Dynamics AX, users only need to enter the zip postal codes when entering a new address, and the system automatically populates the city, county, state, and country region codes accordingly. Zip postal codes can be manually created, or they can be imported by using digital files available from the post office. So let's assign the postcodes manually. It's a very similar procedure. We can just set up Ctrl N and select the postal code, city, and search name. The street name from and to fields are used to capture specific street information for the related zip postal code, because some postal codes are different based on the street number. A range can be entered. So, for example, Apple Street zip postal code can be 1111 and is used from street number 100 to street number 599. And the other range on the same street could have the different postal code. The street name from and to fields are populated when the zip postal codes are imported using the data files from the postal office. They're not required fields. In the all, even, odd field, select the criteria for street numbers in the zip code area. So on the General tab, select one of the on the General tab, we can associate this zip postal code with the state, county, and country regions. So we can select country regions and country and county that belongs to this postal code. The zip postal code form contains 3 buttons. Import zip postal codes. It opens the import zip postal codes dialog box. Next is external code, as we talked about earlier, and the transport button as well, we talked earlier. So let's have a look how we can import zip and postal codes. Most postal services worldwide offer postal codes in digital files that Microsoft Dynamics AX can import. To import zip postal codes, you can click the Import Zip Postal Codes button, and In the file name field, just enter the click and find the file with the postal zip code information. And when you will click OK, it will be loaded automatically into the Dynamics AX. Unfortunately, I don't have the file currently from Postal Office in my machine, so I will just click Cancel. But you can try it at home if you want to exercise and see how does it work. Meanwhile, I will move on to my slides. We will talk about the number sequences. Number sequences handle automatic allocation of voucher numbers, invoice numbers, and journal numbers used by Microsoft Dynamics AX. Number sequences form you can find in the Microsoft Dynamics AX. So I'll close these forms, and it's in Basic, Setup folder, Number Sequences folder, and Number Sequences form. The Number Sequences form is used to create and modify number sequences. Number sequences are defined and created in the Number Sequences content. We will be talking about number sequences in this course, but later on in the next chapters. So, company information. After the basic tables have been set up, the company information form can be filled in. The company information form holds all the data specific to and default for the Microsoft Dynamics AX company. In addition to holding basic company information, this form maintains the company-specific registration numbers, reporting to different tax authorities, currency and language setup, and payment instruction code. The company information form also contains functions that enable for alternative company address, company logo import, external codes, and 1099 software vendors and transmitters. So let's have a look where we can find the company information form in Dynamics AX. I will close my number sequences, and you can see again in the basic module setup folder company information. So other than the general company information, not every field and function on the company information form is necessary for every company. When Microsoft Dynamics AX is set up, it is important to understand that what the fields are and how they are used in the system. For detailed field and function definition and setup assistance, you can have a look in the help or administration content. So let's go through the tabs now. A general tab. In the general tab, you can find the general company information such as name and address. So to fill the general tab, follow these steps. In the company name and street name field, type the relevant names. In the zip postal code field, type the relevant code or click the arrow and select from the list. If the zip postal code has been set up correctly in the system, the city, county, state, and country region fields are automatically populated with the correct code. If the zip postal code has not been set up correctly, fill in the fields in the following order: city, country, region, state, and county. And we can click the address format arrow to select the default address format when entering address. So let's say we have Los Angeles is United States of America. Let's save it. All the contact info tabs. It holds the contact information and the registration numbers associated with the company. Registration numbers are frequently required for tax and European Union reporting. Each field is a free text field, so no code must be accessed or set up. The Other tab holds other company-specific information such as currency, sales tax, bank accounts, and languages. Some of the information on this tab will be used as company defaults throughout Microsoft Dynamics AX. It will be used in the currency, bank accounts, languages, and shipping calendar. The BTL 91 tab holds the information that is required to allow companies work with payment orders in the Netherlands foreign payment order format. So the more information for this tab and next tab, Tax 1099, you will find in the financial course that I think will be discussed more in details. So the 1099 tab holds all the information relevant to 1099 reporting to the IRS. And the number sequences tab contains 3 number sequences references: system ID, contact ID, and signature ID. So you can click the number sequences arrow to select the correct number sequence. Move to my slides. So alternative addressing. So most companies have more than one address for example, build to address, ship to address, payment address, service address, warehouse, or storage location. Alternative addresses are created from the company information form by clicking the Alt Address button. Address types are used to designate when the alternative address is used in the system. So if I will go back to my Dynamics AX and click the alternative address button, so we have the following types of the alternative address. As first is delivery. It's the main delivery address and alternative delivery, and they're used to designate alternative delivery address such as warehouses or other branch locations. Alt delivery is used when an address other than delivery type is indicated at the time of delivery. Invoice is used to designate a bill to address, therefore this is the address that prints on the invoice. Payment is used to designate a pay to address, therefore this is the address that prints on a check. SWIFT is used for money transfer to foreign banks, and service is used to designate the address for service-related deliveries. Company logos can be imported into Microsoft Dynamics AX from the company information form. As soon as imported, company logos can appear on various documents including checks, invoices, interest notes, and collection letters. To import or change the company logo, we can click the company logo button. So we'll close this and company logo button, and image form, company image form will appear, where you can add the image by clicking change button and add the image, or remove the image from this form. To try it, you can find the exercises at page 188 in your manuals that I would like to ask you to do before next week session. And meanwhile, we will move to the next slide, which is import and export data. Microsoft Dynamics AX lets an administrator import data in and export data out of the system. Advanced facilities are available to import data that has been exported from another business management application. For data available in Microsoft Excel, importing is even easier with the import wizard. Data can be exported from Microsoft Dynamics AX for use by other applications. For example, to analyze or graph data in another application, data can be exported from Microsoft Dynamics AX and then imported into the application that provides the necessary functionality. Data can also be exported for backup purposes. So in this section, the chart of account is exported from demo company and imported into the new TSC company that we just created. Before exporting the chart of account, definition groups must be created. Definition groups define the tables and formats that are used for export and import data. The definition group for the export will include only the chart of accounts table. A similar definition group will also be created for the import. As soon as it is completed, the export and import will be run. So we will go through the following scenario for the next exercise. So Microsoft Dynamics AX implementer has to create a chart of accounts in the TST company. The existing chart of account is the demo company, and it includes it includes what the TST company needs. To save time, the implementer decides to export out of the demo and then import into TST. Two chart of accounts definition groups will be created, one for the export and another for import. And both definition groups will only include the chart of accounts table. So definition groups are required when data is exported, but not for importing data. If a definition file is selected when importing data, only the defined table is imported. If a definition file is not selected when importing data, everything from a given file is imported. If a definition group is created for import, some of the dependent tables may not be imported. So let's set up the export definition group. So we will set up the definition group to export the chart of accounts out of the demo company in Microsoft Dynamics AX. So I will close my company information. And import export of data we can find in the administration module, in periodic and data export import, and definition groups. So let's set up the definition group for our demo company account and for table chart of accounts. So to create a new definition group, we have to press Ctrl-N, and let's say the definition group will be general ledger, and it will be export. The name will be chart of accounts from DMO, so demo company accounts. And we can click type to view the field options. And we have standard and Excel. Excel is used for the Excel worksheets, and custom used for text files and enables data manipulation. For current export, we will use standard option. On the Options tab, it includes variables for data export. For this export, we will have to clear all the checkboxes. And on the Include Table Groups tab, we can select table groups that can be included in the export. Table groups constitute a way to categorize tables according to the types of data they hold. So for this export, we'll just clear up all the checkboxes. So, and when we're happy with setup, I'll just click OK. And new definition group is created. So checkboxes have been cleared on both the Options and Include Table Groups tabs to provide an empty table setup form, because only one table must be exported. With this setup, the required table can be added to the form and unnecessary tables do not require deletion. So now we have to add the table that we want to export data from. So we click the Table Setup button, and in the name of table, I'll just click the arrow and find our ledger table, which contains our chart of accounts. To the name ledger table. Okay. So we can select the Note checkbox to export notes that have been added to this table, and also we can use the export criterion if we want to use the criteria for our export. So when the Use Export Criterion checkbox is selected, the Export Criteria button is activated, where we can select the criteria we want to select our chart of accounts in our case. So if I will expand, we can select only specific accounts, ledger accounts that we would like to export from our company. So I will not use any. I will just click Cancel button and close my form. So now we can create the import definition group using the copy feature. The copy feature copies the whole source definition group. The only information that must be changed is the definition group code and the name. So I will click Copy, and definition group will be GL import, and this will be import from demo. So if I will click OK, you can see the definition group was created, and it's exactly the same setup. So if I will go to the table setup, you can see it has exactly the same table collection as the definition group that we copied from. So now we will try to export the chart of accounts from demo company, but before that we will make sure that our chart of accounts form has records, and make sure that we are in the demo company. So click Chart of Accounts. We can see that there are records in our chart of accounts. And before the export is run, make sure that demo company is the current company. So it's very important to double check in what company you're exporting. So I click the Export button, and I have to specify a file I would like to export my data to, and I will call it GL data, and I will save it. I can set up the file type. We have 2 comma and binary. I will leave the binary. The file format is typically binary because this is a compressed format. If comma is selected, container fields are not included in the export. The comma-separated format is typically used to export data for viewing in the spreadsheet. Because container fields are excluded, comma-separated files are typically not used for import. Select Execute on AOS checkbox to offload the processing of the export to the AOS. This frees the client's computer for other tasks and also reduces the amount of data to be passed through the network. So, users can export and import data as batch jobs. The batch tab is a standard form where imports can be scheduled to run as part of a batch job. So here you can schedule your import-export for some time later, for example. So if I will click OK, as we have only one table, it was done very quickly. So we exported our chart of accounts. Now we want to import our data to our new company account, which is TST. So what I will do, I will close my definition groups and change company accounts to the test company account. And in the administration, first we will check if we have anything in the chart of accounts. I will open my chart of accounts, and you can see we don't have any records in the chart of accounts, and company is TST. So I will go to the administration module, and in the periodic data import export definition group, I will highlight my import group and click import button. And in the file name, we'll select the file that I just exported data to, and I will select it. You see we have execute an AOS checkbox here as well. And I will click OK, and in 0 seconds we exported chart of account into our new company account. So again, you can see company account is TST, and if I will go to the general ledger and click chart of accounts, you can see the chart of accounts was copied from one company account to another. So I will close my form and move back to the demo company account. So if you wish so, you can try this exercise, and you can find it on page 188 in your manuals. And I will move to our slides. And we finished our first section for today's course. And in this section, we covered how to perform basic company setup in Microsoft Dynamics AX. After the company structure is defined, the components of company were created. This includes company account, domain, table collection, virtual company accounts. General company information tables were then set up to have data available to complete the company information form. This includes address formats, countries, regions, states, counties, zip postal codes, and number sequences. The company information form is used to maintain company-specific information and defaults that are used throughout the system. After the general setup tables were filled in, the company information form was reviewed and set up. Alternative addresses and company logo imports were also reviewed. In the final section, a basic overview of the data export-import functionality in Microsoft Dynamics AX was provided. And we will move to the second part of our lesson today, and we will talk about the tools menu details. And objectives for these parts are access the employee telephone list, change the system date, display and use the calculator, use the unit calculator to convert between different units, archive, print jobs, switch between company accounts, customize toolbars, and configure user settings. This section introduces to the Tools menu. This menu provides access to many of the auxiliary tools that are available in Microsoft Dynamics AX. The configuration section provides information about how users can configure their desktops and set options in Microsoft Dynamics AX. Although some of these options can be restricted by the admin user, users can configure Microsoft Dynamics AX to match their preferences. So we will go through the following scenario. The Microsoft Dynamics AX implementer has been asked to explain the features on the Tools menu to a group of key and users. Because these end users are not developers, the development functionality is not addressed. In addition, the reporting feature training has been deferred to a later date to include other team members. So the Tools menu holds shortcuts to some of the auxiliary tools provided in Microsoft Dynamics AX. It also contains tools for reporting and development and options for managing alert rules. The Customize and Options menu item lets users configure their toolbars and set options to better meet their personal work needs. So to find Tools menu, we can go back to our Dynamics AX, and on the Tools, if we will click Tools button, we'll find the Tools menu. So first is the telephone list, and it's automatically generated from entries made in the employee table and provides quick access to employee telephone numbers. The records in the telephone list cannot be edited. I'll expand it so you can see it better. So they can't be edited in this form. I will go back to my Tools menu. Next is the system date. And the system date form is used to change the date in the system. This can be useful for backdating. Changing the system date affects the following areas of Microsoft Dynamics AX: the posting date in all modules, the invoice date and the associated due date, the statistics periods in which the current transactions is updated. System fields in the database such as created date and modified date use the computer date, not the system date. The system date can also be displayed in the status bar. If added to the status bar, double-clicking the system date opens the system date form. So I don't have currently, but it can be included in the status bar. So next tool in the Tools menu is Calculator. And the calculator option on the Tools menu opens the standard Microsoft calculator. The calculator can be used to perform any of the standard operations for which a handheld calculator is ordinarily used, in addition to functions found on the specific calculator such as logarithms and factorials. Next is Calculator for Units. The Calculator for Units tool is used to easily calculate unit conversion based on the setup in the unit and unit conversion forms. If a unit conversion has been set up for specific items, we can follow the steps to calculate the unit conversion. So first we have to select the item number we would like to calculate the unit conversion. So let's say the item number BPAC, and let's say it's in meters, and we have to enter the number of units first, and then units to convert from. So let's convert from meters, and the convert to, say, centimeters, and you can see that the resulting number of units is displayed in the window. So it's 1 meter equals to 100 centimeters. So you can set up the unit conversion for anything really in Dynamics AX. Next function is, or tool is, select company accounts. I think you saw this form already a couple of times. A single Microsoft Dynamics AX installation can include several company accounts. Users can change the current company accounts by using the Select Company Accounts form. When company accounts are changed, the company accounts ID is displayed in parentheses in the navigation pane and the various forms. So to select different company accounts, you can just double-click or click OK. So also users can open new workspace from the Select Company Account form. The new workspace feature enables users to have multiple instances of Microsoft Dynamics AX opened at the same time. So if I will select my test company account and click new workspace will be opened in the test company account. So I will close this and we'll go back to my demo company. Next is Print Archive. The Print Archive is a location for storing print jobs. The job will be stored in the Print Archive until it is deleted. If a print job is deleted, the pages of the report are deleted also. The Print Archive form contains two tabs. If I'll go back, I'll go through the Tools and Print Archive. So currently we don't have anything in my Print Archive, but we have two tabs that contain the first is Overview tab, displays the general information about all the print jobs in the archive. This includes the description date and the time of the print job. And the Information tab displays the print information, and this includes the status of the print job selected on the Overview tab. And the statuses could be in progress, completed, aborted, or empty. The Print Archive contains 4 buttons. This includes Print. It's used to print the report to the selected destination. Print Preview, used to preview the report. Printer Setup, used to view or change the destination of the print job. Update, updates the view to include print jobs that have been added or deleted because the table was last accessed. So to store job in the Print Archive, we can go to any report in the system. Let's go to the General Ledger and Chart of Accounts report. And before printing the report, we can go to the options and select Save in Print Archive checkbox. Make sure that we print on the screen, and we'll click OK and click OK again. So we printed the report. At the same time, if we'll go to the Tools menu and go to the Print Archive, you can see I have my just printed Chart of Accounts report. So I had some reports printed before, and it displayed, so I had 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock today. What you can do, you can reprint this report or print preview in the screen as well. And you can use the update button to update the records in the print preview if records will change in time. So I'm back to my presentation. Next is Manage Alert Rules. The Manage Alert Rules menu item opens the Manage Alert Rules form. I'll go back to my Dynamics AX, close the print archive, and Tools, Manage Alert Rules. This form is used to manage alert rules that have been set up in the Create Alert Rule form. The alert functionality that includes creating and managing alerts will be covered more in details in Command menu section. Next is Development Tools in the Tools menu. The Development Tools menu item contains many tools for configuring Microsoft Dynamics AX to the unique needs of individual customers. These tools are covered more in details in the development course of Dynamics AX. Also, more detailed information you can find in the Help Developer Help function. So next is Reporting Tools. And Microsoft Dynamics AX is integrated with Microsoft SQL Server 2005 reporting services. This gives customers an enterprise-capable reporting platform that includes a comprehensive environment for authoring, managing, and delivering reports to the whole organization. And also it enables business users to interact with data in an ad hoc manner and create original reports. The Reporting Tools menu item contains many of the tools a company requires to use the reporting services technology. The SQL Server 2005 reporting services is covered in SQL Server course and also in the other courses, in the development courses for the Dynamics AX. So now next is Customize Display Options. The customized tools lets users customize the look of their toolbars and select where the tooltips are displayed. In the list of the toolbars, the checkboxes indicate the types of toolbars that can be displayed or hidden on the Microsoft Dynamics AX application window. So standard displays under the top menu and holds general purpose icons like Open, Save, Print, Card, Copy, and so on. Editor displays in the X++ editor, so it's in development editor, and holds shortcuts to compile, set breakpoints, lookup properties and methods, and so on. Application Object Tree or AOT displays and holds shortcuts to open properties, save, import, and so on for the Application Object Tree. Report Generator displays in the Visual Report Designer and holds shortcuts to open properties and to save. To have all toolbar icons displayed in a large size, select the Large button checkbox. And the Tooltips checkbox means that as the pointer is rolled over the icons on the toolbar, tooltips appear that include the name of the icon in addition to the related shortcut keys if applicable. To have tooltips displayed in the status bar where tips are available, select this checkbox. User options. So the options form provides individual users the ability to have their own desktop settings. The options on this form define the setup of system parameters, and this includes the choice of menu upon startup, alert messaging, status bar information, SQL database tracing, and warning level on data deletion and data updates. So if we'll go to Dynamics AX, close Customize form, and we'll go to the Tools and Options. So on the General tab, you can see the different groups that it is broken on. The groups are user info log, security, legacy help system, document handling, and alerts. Each group contains defaults that are specific to this particular user. The user group contains user information that includes the user ID and name, alias and network domain specific to Microsoft Active Directory, email address, and last logon day. In addition, the following user defaults are set in the user group. Start menu identifies the menu that appears when Microsoft Dynamics AX is started. Start company account identifies the default company account that is opened when Microsoft Dynamics AX is started. Autocomplete, when it is selected, saves keystrokes in string fields, so the next time that the user starts to type a string field, the system provides a list of text matches a user can select from. Default tab behavior determines how the tab key is used in Microsoft Dynamics AX. When this checkbox is selected, pressing tab moves through all fields and buttons on the current tab page only. When it is not selected, pressing tab moves through all fields and buttons on all tab pages included in the tab control. Single click to open menu. All menus are opened on a single click instead of a double click. This default also underlines menu items when the pointer is moved over them. And language and alt help language identifies the default display language and the display language for the help for this user. The info log gives users three types of message: information, warning, and error. The detail level option defines the type of information the user wants to see in the infolog system. The options are all, it will show all messages, errors and warnings shows only errors and warning, errors only will show errors only, and none shows no information in the infolog system. If the none option is selected, users cannot view previous errors and warnings because messages are not saved in the system. The security group has the automatic shutdown field, and it indicates the number of minutes the client may be idle before the system is shut down. A zero value means that the system never shut down automatically. Legacy help system. The legacy help system group includes defaults related to the internal Microsoft Dynamics AX help system. The theme name field determines the name of the style sheet to use for the help information in Microsoft Dynamics AX help system. The mark empty links checkbox determines when an asterisk is inserted before links that are empty, for example, links that do not lead to any text. Unless creating your own help documentation, it is recommended that this parameter is not selected because it decreases performance in the help system. Document handling. The document handling group includes settings for the document handling functionality. Document handling lets users attach notes, faxes, quotations, and other documents to forms in Microsoft Dynamics AX. Using document handling will be reviewed in details later on in command menu content in this course. The document handling active checkbox enables document handling for the user. If this checkbox is not selected, the user can't access document handling. When it is selected, document handling is enabled in two areas. So I will activate it by opening the chart of accounts. So document handling icon on the toolbar, so we can see the document handling button. And also in the command menu, we have the document handling option. click it. The Update Toolbar Line button checkbox determines whether the user is made aware of documents that are attached to forms. When this checkbox is selected and a form is accessed that has documents attached, the document handling icon appears to be selected. If this checkbox is not selected, user will not be alerted that documents are attached to a selected form. Alerts. Alerts are a notification system that issues alerts about critical events in Microsoft Dynamics AX as determined by the user. Each user can set options for the receipt of alerts. User can set these options. How frequently to receive alerts, and destination of the pop-up links. Next is Status Bar tab. The Status Bar tab defines the information displayed in the status bar at the bottom of the Microsoft Dynamics AX application window. The three fields at the top of the Status Bar tab are Show Status Bar, determines how the status bar is displayed. The options are None, Normal, and Large. So if none, no information is displayed in the status bar. Normal field information is displayed in a typical font size. The same font size is used for other field captions. And large field information is displayed in a larger font size. Next is Warn Company Accounts Change, defines whether an info log will appear upon change of company accounts. And Show Company Information in Form Title defines whether the company accounts ID, for example, demo, DMO, company will appear on the title bar of each form. It's the bottom and the title bar of each form. The status bar group includes the fields that we already were discussing in the previous session, so I will not go through them again. On the Fonts tab, define font types and size for reports, forms, and for the property editor. The system's default font types are, for reports is Arial, for forms is GUI, and for properties are MS Sans Serif. The standard font size in Microsoft Dynamics AX is 9 points, and to change the default font types and size, you can click the Browse button and select preferable types and sizes. On the Development tab, we can select or define options that may be useful during the development process. These options are covered more in detail in the development training for the Dynamics AX. Also, you can find more information in the Help and Developer Help. We will not cover it now and we will not go into the details. On the SQL tab, the SQL tab defines different database tracing and where to view tracing information. To enable SQL trace functionality, we can select the SQL trace checkbox. The Allow Client Tracing on Application Object Server Instance checkbox must also be selected on the Tracing tab of the Microsoft Dynamics AX Server Configuration Utility to enable trace functionality. So we have several tracing methods, five that incorporated into the Microsoft Dynamics AX. So first is multiple SQL statements is monitors all SQL communications with the SQL database backend and defines where to send all output. Long queries enables users to locate single SQL statement exceeding a user-defined time period. The threshold field lets users define a long-running query in milliseconds. This is useful in development and testing environments to find and remove performance bottlenecks by using low query time thresholds, and in production environments for monitoring with appropriately high thresholds. Warning, lets developers receive several SQL generation and data loading warnings. Deadlocks enables the display of deadlock information, and general receives a query plan from the database listing the steps that are required to fulfill a given query. The confirmation tab defines whether the system displays a warning message when data is deleted or updated from one of the 7 table groups listed in the page. A table's association with a group is one of the properties set when the table is created. And the preload tab and option enables Microsoft Dynamics AX to read complete table content from the SQL database to local storage when a given table is first accessed. This is used to improve performance and scalability when frequently accessing static data. In a given setup, a table might be also large that the initial load time exceeds any gains in access time. In this case, the preloading must be disabled for all users. When this option is disabled for the admin user, it is disabled for all users. If the usage pattern for a given user implies that a given table must not be preloaded, it can be displayed by the option for this user. In addition to the name and description of the table, the Preload tab includes the ID of the table and checkbox for controlling preload. If the checkbox is selected, preload functionality is enabled for the table. If the checkbox is unavailable, the admin user has disabled the preloading of this table and it cannot be overruled by the user. So let's go through the option form buttons. We have 4 buttons, and first is apply, and it's used to save changes that were made without choosing the option form. Default button used to apply the system's default settings to the options form. Toolbar opens the customized form discussed earlier in this section. Usage data opens the usage data form used to view and update collected data for the current user. Best practices opens the best practices parameters form used to set up checks for the best practices deviations. And compiler opens the compiler setup form used to change the appearance and content of the compiler output window. So best practices checks are executed to make sure that the guidelines for best practices are used. The best practices checks are executed during compilation or when the check best practices menu item is selected on the add-ins menu in the IoT. So best practices are basically used for the development purposes. And the compiler is a development tool that is used to compile X++ code. That is the development code for Dynamics AX. The compiler setup form contains a subset of features available on the development tab on the options form. So I'll go back to my slides. And we finished our second part of our course for today, and in this section introduced the tools menu and provided instruction on basic functions such as accessing an internal system-generated employee telephone list, working with two different calculators, standard and unit conversion, changing the system date and watching between companies, archiving print jobs for later viewing or reprinting. The configuration section provided information about how users can configure their desktops and set their own options in Microsoft Dynamics AX. The configurations covered included the tab of toolbar that appears on the Microsoft Dynamics AX application window and where the tooltips are displayed. Basic user settings such as which menus open upon starting Microsoft Dynamics AX, default company account and language, default info log message, tab behavior and mouse click preferences, how alerts are sent, how to customize the Microsoft Dynamics AX status bar, how to set the default fonts used in report, forms, and properties, setting up SQL database tracing options, determining warning levels on data deletion and data update, how frequently access tables can be set up to preload static data for quicker viewing, how to view and delete saved user selections that are typically used, and the process to make sure that best practices guidelines are used. So at the end of this section in your manuals, page 216, you can find the test your knowledge questions that I would like to ask you to fill just after the end of this section, so you can double check yourself and see what you remember from today's section. And we finished for today our session where we covered the company accounts and tools menu. It's chapters 6 and 7, and we have some time before 6 o'clock, so please, if you have any questions, you can ask them and I will try and answer them. So you can use the question dialog box to answer your questions. So I can't see any questions. So I would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
You too, Margarita.
Thank you. Okay. Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay.